Good morning, everybody, and it's great to see you. And happy Monday. I'm thrilled that you're here. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman, and I'm a body-mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist. And my specialty is helping women who have toxic relationships or toxic situations in their life really learn how they work and get that stuff cleared up and cleaned up and in alignment and get themselves on a great path. Hey, Chanel, nice to see you. So today we're talking about our own inner critic. So there's been a lot of research over the last 5 to 10 years about the connection between dietary and gut health and mental health. It's been coming out more and more often that the things that we put into our body and how healthy our stomach and our digestive system is has a direct link to the thoughts that we're thinking, the emotions that we're feeling, and the messages, our own inner critic. So when I first started getting into therapy decades ago, to deal with my issues, a lot of what was known, hey Dina, a lot of what was known was that mental health came from, that you were broken. There was something wrong with you. You were raised with a series of beliefs or bad experiences. And these beliefs and bad experiences made you broken in somehow. So you were always going to be struggling with depression or always going to be struggling with anxiety. For me, this was a real disservice, but that's because people didn't know any better. They didn't know the connection between gut health and mental health or gut health and emotional health. Hey Tara, nice to see you. So for me, let me give you a little bit of my story. So when I was young, I did have I was in fight or flight for, let's say the first 30 years of my life. And because of that anxiety, my diet was way whacked out. I was so anxious that I wasn't able to eat. And not being able to eat, in some ways it gave me clarity because I wasn't eating all of these processed foods. But on the other side, it would magnify my anxiety and make it worse. And it kept making it worse until I hit 30 and I said, I've got to make a big change. So the change that happened was my inner critic, my negativity, my own personal toxic energy got so bad. I was so mean and angry and rageful. And even though I didn't express it to anybody outside of me, it's what I felt inside. So of course the logical thing is that you go to therapy and you get it sorted out. But here's the misnomer. A lot of therapy is great to work through those issues, but that keeps us stuck in our thoughts and our inner critic. It doesn't focus on maybe some of the deeper, real problems that are going on, like your diet isn't on point or your gut isn't healthy. It wasn't until I started doing things like taking probiotics and drinking kombucha and taking hemp oil and doing things which started to heal my digestive system that my mental and emotional health started to get in line. Hey Carol, nice to see you. And Christy's here too. So what we tend to do in our lives is we're not in a good space and we don't protect ourselves because we don't feel good and we're exhausted because we've been making not great physical choices, hey Kellyanne, for a long time, and that leaves us almost like prey. And so a narcissist comes into our lives and we don't have the strength or the resiliency to have a healthy relationship with them. So how do we turn it around? It's really not the narcissist's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's recognizing there are things within you that are keeping you from feeling your best and doing your best and being your best. And when you start not criticizing yourself for how you feel, I was taught that I needed to power through it, that I needed to rise above. Hey, Susan, why are you thinking these things? Why are you feeling these things? You just need to ignore them. You just need to move ahead and get stuff done anyways. That all needs to go on the back burner. And that's my inner critic. Even the one that says, I don't care how bad you feel, you need to get up today and do something, that's your inner critic. Because what it's doing is it focuses on the mental piece alone. It doesn't focus on the other physical pieces we can do something about. More and more they're connecting vitamin D, magnesium, CBD, B vitamins, all of those things, those micronutrients that we're not getting, as a big factor in what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And so even more exhausting than the external things which are pounding on us, it's our own thoughts which are keeping us from getting our real needs met. It's very easy to, judge ourselves for being sad or angry or frustrated or irritated. And then the thoughts that go with it, maybe it makes us a bad person. Why am I thinking these things? But if we start to change our paradigm and go a little bit deeper and say, maybe these thoughts aren't all it is. Maybe these thoughts are a symptom of something else. What do I really need right now? And a lot of times we can shift our own energy with some very basic things. Tara says it's true. If we don't feed our gut brain, our head brain suffers. That's absolutely true. Hey, Peggy, nice to see you. And so many times we can start to shift our mood by doing very basic physical things. So by drinking my kombucha before a big meal or before I go to bed every day, that has a huge impact on my mental and emotional health. That's less exhausting. Because I'm making sure I get enough sunshine and my vitamin D, that keeps me from feeling exhausted. Because I make sure I at least have a 15-minute stroll every other day, listening to great music, doing something physical that way, that keeps me from feeling exhausted and having those thoughts and feelings. So the disconnect that many people were taught is that their physicality needs to be something that's ignored, something that's powered through and pushed through. And that's our inner critic that says your physical self has no impact on your mental and emotional health. For decades, personal growth stuff has said your body is a direct reflection of your thoughts. And that's true. But people haven't been paying attention to how our thoughts and mental and emotional health are a direct reflection of how we're treating our physical self. So here's your homework for today. I want you to come up with one physical thing which you know will probably make you feel better. It doesn't go in the should category because, I should exercise because it's good for me. I should drink more water because it's good for me. You don't do it because of this ephemeral, it's good for you. You do it because it makes you feel better. It takes that inner critic and it dials it down. It takes that anxiety of feeling like you're on your edge and it smooths it out. Physical things, taking care of your physical well-being, will quiet your own inner toxicity. It'll quiet your own inner critic. And so when you stop judging how you feel and instead look for a deeper cause, and maybe the deeper cause isn't based on, trauma when you were a child. Maybe the deeper cause is because of the trauma, you make bad food choices, and because of the bad food choices, you're still thinking of the past trauma. Does that make sense? So a big shift we all need to make is when we start having those thoughts and feelings, instead of saying, well, I need to just ignore them, I need to put them in a box, I need to shove them away, or I need to express them, I need to get them out, which is important to do. But also stop criticizing how we feel. And instead, just take that 5 and 10 minutes and ask our gut, ask our stomach, say, what do you need this morning? What are you missing? And it could be as simple as half a glass of water. And when you take that half a glass of water, it gets what it needs. It brings the inflammation down. And when the inflammation goes down, you feel better and your inner critic feels better too. Okay? So one thing today that I know will make you physically feel better, and notice if either in 20 minutes, it always seems like either a short time or a long time, either in 20 minutes or tomorrow, because exercise has a big impact on how you feel tomorrow. And it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't have to be crazy. It can be, I stroll around the track for 15 minutes, and that's good enough for your mental and emotional health, for me to feel better tomorrow, okay? Do one thing, and then those one things start to build, and you'll notice that you're not as tired anymore, and your inner critic isn't making you feel so toxic. So it's not so much about the people around you, although that's really important as well. It is more about how you feel. And when you do things that make you physically feel good, then you're going to mentally and emotionally get into a good space. Chanel says, don't should on me. Yep, exactly. She's going to eat more regularly. She thinks with food, and if it's the one thing she has total control over and she needs to surrender. You betcha, Chanel. That's exactly it. That is one of the few things we can control, what we're putting into our body. And when we put in things that make us feel good, that maybe we've been missing or neglecting or ignoring because we were in this place of fight or flight, of panic, because we're so stressed out, when we start to take back that control and realize that we have this power to change how we feel, everything around you changes too. And then the miraculous thing is you start standing up to the bullies. You start setting boundaries for the bullies. You start setting ground rules. You start ignoring them. You start joking with them. You start standing up and being counted and heard. Hey, Evie, because you're not so tired. Because your inner critic isn't keeping you from getting your real nourishment and your real needs met, okay? So next time you're feeling sad, frustrated, angry, be okay with that. But then also ask yourself, what will make me feel good right now? Now, and it's not necessarily potato chips, although one or two are good. Everything's in moderation. But it's what will make you physically feel better. And those are the basics you've been learning ever since you were a kid, okay? So, cool. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Like, love, share, comment, and comment on other people's comments. And next week, we're going to be starting a few weeks of interviews with experts on narcissism, from energy healers to psychics to self-defense instructors to people who are specialists in brain gym to the victimizer drama triangle. We're going to be having these great interviews at night for 3 weeks, about 2 times a week. So tune in. I'll be advertising it and talking more about the times and who's going to go first. On Monday night, we're going to be having Tara. Tara's from Australia. I think she's still on today. If she is, say hi, Tara. And we're going to be talking about how to identify a narcissist and so that you can avoid them. How to identify them quick so that you can make smarter choices and not get into relationships with them in the first place. So we're going to be taking it for a fun 90-minute ride at, I think it's 7:30 Monday night, live stream right here on this channel. And we're going to take some deep dives into narcissism and how to get yourself into a really great space if you've got narcissists in your life. Okay? Hey, Jody. So have a great rest of your day. And I'm so excited that you joined me today. Talk to you later.